that.
Yeah, for sure. So the application process is very straightforward. Um, would be community developers, people that have apps, people that want to develop apps. The resource for you guys is the build.staratlas.com website. So I'll share my screen here. And I'm doing this in a private tab, so it's as if I have no access to this, and you can see the form as it would be. But the point is, you come to build.staratlas.com, and right away you can see there are links to our white papers and economic docs, but also there are dev resources, our program IDs, APIs, and data. But specifically, the build program can be found under Forms, and then you click Developer RPC Initiative, and you see a quick blurb about what it is. And you can follow the link at the bottom here to this form. And it's the same blurb as on build.staratlas.com. The application is meant to be enough information for us to have a two-way conversation. It's not meant to completely dox you, but it is meant so that we can get in touch with you guys and figure out more about your product. So you'll put in your name, email, your Discord handle, and then a little bit about the product that you're building. So we'd like a description, whether it's an open source or open access product, and whether or not you've already applied to be part of the IP program or you're planning on it there. There's also a spot for your GitHub page if it is open source, and your product website if there is one. We had 8 applications so far, and 9 people have been actually approved for the program. And we've had everything from individuals developing products that haven't been released to the public yet, to well-known products like Evi and SlyTools. So I just want to emphasize here, if you're developing anything that has to do with Star Atlas on Solana, and you're incurring an expense through an RPC program, you should apply to this, and you can have that expense lifted from you, right? You can become part of this program, and you shouldn't incur any costs, at least from the RPC perspective, while developing something for Star Atlas. So we start with the very, very basic apps, people that are still in development, and we have RPC program through Ironforge that allows even the most complex stuff, like the Sly Assistant, to function. So
Nice.
that is the application process. It's very straightforward. We open a DM with you and get to know your product, find out what kind of needs you have as far as whitelisting, and we enable your key. So
that's perfect.
So
and are there any limits? I think you covered it, but are there any limits on the RPC calls that people can get from this?
Yeah. So I'd like to say the limits are flexible. We tailor the limit to the application's needs at that point. So if you're a small dev and you're testing something and you can get away with 100 calls per second, then that's what we're going to set your limit to. Likewise, if your app is hitting the chain a lot and you need more than that, well, then we'll customize it to that. So.
Well, that's perfect. Brett, anything you want to add on this side of things?
Yeah, just this isn't intended to be like once your product is hugely massive, that we're going to continue to do that. So eventually, like once your product is really taken off, moving on to like your own infrastructure of own RPC, this is really good for starting off and getting that groundwork set up. So don't want people to assume that this can be forever, that like super long projects that are making a ton of money will be able to keep using this type of thing.
Nice. Well, it's good for the very first steps, right?
Yeah, one more thing is it's also far more secured. It's far more locked down than most RPCs you get. So you don't have to worry as much about like somebody coming in, some scraping bot, grabbing your RPC and using it for copy trading or like whatever trading they're trying to do, just to get like 1 second ahead and costing you money by doing that. So we got it much more locked down than most providers will.
Yeah.
Nice.
And likewise, you won't be able to use it for for RPC calls outside of the Star Atlas ecosystem. Those are intentionally blacklisted.
So it only works for inside the Star Atlas ecosystem?
That's the idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
so like if you're not like doing trading on some other website, but if you're doing stuff related to Star Atlas, it'll be totally go through. Like token lookups, totally fine, right? So you need those. So,
Mhm.
and we'll work out those limitations with you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. The gift that Samsar posted in the chat is actually accurate. That's what people were doing before.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many bots that just scraped our website and stole our RPC key and just racked up more than you guys would do on Sage. It's crazy.
Yeah. So we're using the RPC calls and the infrastructure in a much more effective way now, right?
Hmm. Yeah, that's part of the advances you've seen in Sage Labs. More coming, but yeah.
Nice. That's nice. So yeah, any questions on the RPC calls, guys? Anyone from the audience has any questions? Oh, there's a question in Turkish there. I don't know Turkish. So
I
sorry,
don't know Turkish
Bulut.
either.
I am
Yeah.
sorry, my friend. Can't reply to that one. But yeah, I think we can move to the next topic, which is the hackathon. And Brett, I think we can drop some details here for the people who are joining the developer hour. They will be ahead of the curve a little bit here. So guys, as you know, we'll have a hackathon. The start date is going to be announced, but you can start putting together your stuff. But basically, the hackathon will start hopefully next week. The announcements will go out next week or even maybe tomorrow. And we will be it will be ending 1 week before Breakpoint. So it will be ending on September 14th. That's if I am not mistaken. So the hackathon will be ending on September 14th. And then our judges, which are half Star Atlas team and other people from sponsors and different people from the Solana ecosystem, will be basically reviewing all the applications and all that for choosing the winners, basically. But we have a couple categories that we can talk about right now, if you guys want. We'll have 6 different categories and one overall winner. So the 6 different categories that we will have are the Sage category. It will be, in order to qualify to that one, you'll have to create an application that interacts with the Star Atlas Sage program. We will have a Galactic Marketplace category. You will need to create an application that interacts with the Star Atlas Galactic Marketplace. Resources category, where you will have to create an application that uses any of the Star Atlas ecosystem consumable resources in a meaningful way, of course. We'll have a data category. People will need to create an application that will display meaningful live data for Star Atlas ecosystem and products. A DeFi category, where you will need to create an application that uses Star Atlas tokens, being Atlas or Polis, in a meaningful way. And then we'll have a game category, where you will need to create a game that uses the Star Atlas IP, tokens, or resources. So I think that covers a lot on the hackathon side of things. Brett, anything that you would like to add to that?
Yeah, so when you submit your project, you're not like saying, "Oh, I'm going on this track." When basically you can qualify for multiple. We're only gonna have one winner. Like you won't be able to win multiple, but you'll be able to qualify for multiple with the same product. So don't feel limited in that way, where you have to. If you're going for the game, you can't also then interact with Star Atlas resources. Like you would qualify for both, and we'll pick the best from each category.
Yeah, and there's going to be prizes per category. So we're going to have around $25,000 in VWAP value in prizes. So that's going to be big. And this is sponsored by Ogrica. So the overall winner, the best project overall, will get one Ogrica Sampa and then one Ogrica Tersic per category winner. So, yeah, that's going to be big. I hope those prizes are exciting for the people building on top of Star Atlas.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see what everybody makes. It's totally open. Everybody can jump in and try something out. When was the final date again?
September 14th.
So September 14th, and then we'll talk more about the winners at Breakpoint.
Yeah.
So
We'll let you guys know who wins at Breakpoint. Yes, that's correct. But yeah, I think Brett, you had one more thing. I don't know if you want to cover it, but we're open sourcing something. I don't know if that's
got
something
delayed.
that we should cover. Delayed? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Never
Well,
mind.
the plan is to actually open source our libraries. I know a few people have they've used the npm just like viewing source code, but we haven't had a GitHub repo. It's been so the plan is to actually do that. We got to figure out, but there's one last thing that's holding it back. But so that'll be soon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that's nice. So yeah, I think now we covered our topics. We actually sped through them, so that's pretty good. So guys, we are going to open. We'll probably end at half an hour, or depending on how many questions we get. But if you're building anything, if you have any questions on any of the resources that we have, it's time to shoot them to Xcode and Brett. So if there are any questions, please feel free to shoot them. If not, we'll be closing sooner than expected. I see Seam typing. TT Donovan, I know that you're a big builder. If you're working on anything and you have questions for the guys up here, please feel free to shoot them. It's good to get advanced on whatever you're building. And Sim, I see that he says, I'd like to build a lot of things, but this is my first time in Web3, other than a few fun experiments. I think it's worth it, right? We're not looking for things that are like super developed. We want people to try and put together cool stuff. So
yeah, so follow up to that. What can we do to help you build, especially as a first time Web3 person? What are some of the roadblocks that you're finding, if there are any, right? What can we do to make that process easier for you?
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually good. Like, are you finding any bottlenecks or lack of information in any way, something like that? For you, Sim, that I know you tried, TT Donovan, you tried as well. Have you guys been finding like any roadblocks or anything like that? Feel free to raise your hand if you want to come on stage. More than welcome.
Yeah, something else to cover here too. There's a few categories that don't require like actual Web3 stuff. Like we're very minimal. Like the game category it allows you to just do it with a Stardust IP. So there's a lot of ways to enter the hackathon even with light knowledge, where you can maybe dip your toe in a little bit, but do mostly what you're used to developing wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a good opportunity to try, right? And see if you can put something together that makes sense. But it's
Prices are pretty good.
Yeah, the prices are good as well. Yeah, and hopefully we can get also build all over Solana ecosystem as well. That's what we're looking for sure. But yeah, it's a hackathon. Like, yeah, people can try their best. That's the intention. I see that Sim saying it's not actually a lack of info. It's just like it's working a lot different from Web 2 in my experience. I think I should elaborate this response better and not here. But if you're interested, I can. Yeah, feel free to write something down. We have the community developers channel where you guys can post questions and stuff like that directly to the devs. So yeah. TT Donovan says he has an idea. I know the team is strapped busy, but what about private mentorships? I don't know if that's something we really could do.
Yeah, especially with prize money involved, everything's got to be public. But happy to talk about it in like community developers chat and people. I know our team loves to just like see when stuff comes by and likes to think about ways to do new things, that sort of stuff. As long as it's in public, like happy to help out.
Yeah. I mean, maybe like that's why we have these developer hours, honestly. Like the idea is to help you guys with whatever you're building. And even if there are no dumb questions. That's the intention of what we're trying to do here. Just trying to guide people on everything that is related to development. Even if you're a super newbie or if you're advanced, like we try to give a hand to our community. So I don't know, like maybe we schedule other developer events like more frequently, not only whenever we see fit, but like ongoing, maybe once a month or like that. You guys can ask questions, but yeah, I think it's private mentorship's probably not possible just because of that, like security reasons and all that. But yeah, doing it in public, I think we can do anything you guys want.
Mhm.
I see a couple questions. Is there anything planned regarding bug bounties? I don't know
So-
if we have a program, but
We do actually, we provide bug bounties to anyone that has come, but they're kind of been one-offs basically, where we don't have an
Mhm.
official policy on like here's how much it is. We just hired Kelly, security director, so that's one of the tasks she's gonna come up have coming up to make an official policy around that. So don't expect anything though for a couple months at least, because she's got to of course get it acclimatized and everything. Like don't want to put too much
Yeah.
pressure on her just now joining. But yeah, if anybody does find bugs or security issues or something, please do report it to us. We do pay out bug bounties. We just don't have an official policy yet.
Cool. Samsor is asking, any good Solana bootcamp or other learning resources that you recommend that will be most relevant to building on Star Atlas?
Yeah, so the Solana docs, of course, are, I mean, they say it's chewing on glass because they're not the best. But they're some of the easiest things to get started with on building in Web3. It depends on which path you want to go. A lot of stuff is just based in Web2 knowledge, like getting a server set up, how do you talk to your client, how do you build a front end, all of that. The really more difficult parts are how do you send transactions and those type of things. So the Solana docs are really the best place to do that. There's also some examples in the code of the Star Atlas bindings that might help. Other than that, it's there's not much good resources. We're trying to do better, but we got to balance that with building all the cool stuff you guys are playing. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. More of something that interests me, says Suto from Afia. I assume Fleet Command is not written in JSTS, but C or C++ instead. Will there be a different library for that available?
Yeah. Actually, I had a meeting about that just a couple minutes ago. So yeah, we're working on a C bindings basically to our programs so that it can be built in Unreal basically. So yeah, and the plan is to have those open sourced in some way.
Nice. BV is asking what happened to the WebGL assets. Is there a way to open source them? I know that at one point we said that we were going to open source them. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I think we talked about that as part of the IP program. That's more of a Danny question though, because that's under his responsibility there. I mean, if all good with them, we can always post those and make that available as part of the AP program. My guess is they'd be probably locked behind that because those type of art assets tend to get scraped very easily, and just people take them without actually following like the rules of like the IP program and all that. So yeah, I bet that could be part of the IP program there.
Nice. Yeah, at one point we were going to do that. I don't know like what happened, but they didn't make up there.
Yeah, they've just gotten lost in all the stuff we're doing. So
Yeah,
let's bring that up again.
Yeah, good point, BB. We'll bring that up. Maybe we can get that to developers. And who knows, somebody builds another UI for but yeah, any other questions, guys? Again, like no bad questions, anything related to development, anything that you guys have on your mind, if you're trying to build something and you're stuck, feel free to ask that as well. If not, we'll close it if there are no questions. The hackathon is all online. Yes, that's correct. It's completely online. Just that the winners are announced at Breakpoint.
Yeah, and if you win and come down to Breakpoint too, we'll come say hi and probably get you up, show off your stuff. But no requirement there to be at Breakpoint.
Yeah. Do we get a specific website? I assume you're talking about like a landing page for the hackathon? Yes, that's coming with the announcement. That's correct.
This is all technically pre-announcement. Haven't without
This is
all the
all
details.
pre-announced. Yeah.
Giving you early details alpha here.
Yeah, if anyone is interested in building something around Star Atlas, it's good to start right now. Now you know all the categories and all that beforehand, so maybe there's a chance for the people here to have a little advantage. But yeah, we will see. We will see. I see Sim typing. Again, guys, if there are any questions, feel free to shoot them. If not, we'll close. An insight into modding for UE5. I don't know if we have any insight here. Also,
yeah, we don't have like a modding toolkit or anything. It's standard UE5 stuff. So there are ways to inject like mods into any Unreal game. Satisfactory is a good example of an Unreal game that like didn't have any mod support, but people that knew Unreal could inject their own code into. So that's possible. I mean, all the rules for the game are encoded on chain, so it's not like you're gonna be able to like, okay, I'm gonna teleport my ships now across the galaxy or something like that. And if there's any type of anti-cheat modes, then those will block a lot of modding anytime you're trying to play online with that. So, but yeah, there's a lot of openness there. Eventually, we're going to get to the point where we're building it along with you guys in the Unreal client, so you'll be able to inject a lot more, but not soon. Got a lot more to do.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I see Sams are saying when you do add mod support, can you start with punabs for fighting games? Yeah, I would like that. Anything that has punabs in it, I like. I support.
So there's the first here. If Santi's a judge and you have a punab, you're probably going to win.
Yeah. I'm probably not going to be a judge. I don't think I can judge anything, but yeah, I will be biased towards punabs. Yes. I hope you're a punab bread. I don't know what faction you're in, but
Ooster, obviously, the best one.
Oh my god.
Pretty sure you can be a punab in any faction you want.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. That's true. But yeah, I try to convert people to Oni whenever I can, man.
Mhm.
I'm just a RGB robot, so.
Pretty sure I'm going to be two punabs stacked one on top of the other, acting like a human, like in a big cloak.
With some rocks on you. Oh,
Yeah.
You're a tufa. Just holding up big rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's cool. But yeah, I see some people just joined, guys. We're doing just Q&A here. No bad questions. Anything that you have that you need help with or whatever, feel free to shoot it. I see Sim. He said, no questions. I just want to add that which is priceless. I've never seen a team so open with their community, help them and open. Much respect for you guys, really. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I mean, we have the head of engineering and one of our PMs from engineering. Actually, I think you're the only PM right now, Xcode. I don't know. But
the top
yeah,
PM.
guys. Top PM. top
PM.
PM.
No,
And
only PM.
you have the chance to ask questions directly to them, guys, here. So it's a good opportunity. So if there are no questions coming in, I'll give it 10 seconds. We will be closing. I see Katiru typing. I see Rising Sun in the audience. Rising Sun is the creator of Evi. You're crushing it, my friend. Keep doing what you do. A lot of people actually use your tool. And I think I don't know if you got an RPC, one of the RPC nodes, but if not, you probably should. Pretty sure you did.
Yes, you did.
we used Evi recently to catch a bug in some of our data. So
That's
it's even
nice.
useful for us.
Yeah.
Multiple sources.
I
That's
used
nice.
Evi to find fleets that I didn't even know I had, that were tied up in crafting jobs that I didn't even know I started. So yeah, it's awesome. We're definitely taking cues from those apps for future features and stuff like that. But it's really great that you guys have built those.
Yeah, that's super nice. And I hope the FreeRPC stuff actually helped alleviate some of the code for you, Rising Sun. I see Vivi asking, how does metacrafting someone who wants to create assets base?
Yeah.
I don't
So
know. Yeah.
on the tech side, all it is really just distributing a token. So basically you'll give us X amount of tokens and we'll put up a recipe for it. Talk with Santi and his team about like actually getting it on there if you have an idea for one. But metacrafting is super cool. So it's really just a token distribution system. And you can make it as expensive or as cheap as you want, and we'll help out with that recipe as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have an idea that just needs a token distribution, then do it through the metacrafting and get some pretty good Sybil resistance as well, as Michael was marketing them for. So
Yeah, we do have a couple recipes that are going through the approval process right now. So if that is something you're interested in, then please reach out to Santi or I, and we'll send you what we need.
Yep. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing more like cool stuff from the community, and I mean that can also be done to promote your whatever you're building as well. I think it's probably like a good idea. Like for example, if Rising Sun, you're building Evi and you want the Sage users to get on Evi, maybe there's, I don't know, like some sort of thing that we can get on the metacrafting recipe that gives users a certain, I don't know, like a different UI. If you have that NFT, I don't know if that's even possible, but I'm just thinking out loud here. Like,
some enterprising plugin developer could do that. That fit in the Sage category.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it could help like promote it to the Sage users, and we are always happy to promote useful tools.
There's also been ideas floating around of like, oh, if you want to do marketing coupons to your store or something like that, would also be a very good idea.
Yeah. So VB had a point there, payment involved, and how do we determine the resources burned? So this is a very basic system right now, as I understand it. The person submitting the meta poster or meta item says, I think this is a $5 item, and we go and we find about $5 worth of resources that are burned in order for an end user to create that item. However, those resources are burned. The person that created the token isn't paid anything. They're not given anything for that token. We don't have a system built yet where we can exchange what people burn for the token itself to the end user. So it's not perfect. We had discussed initially having some kind of an exchange where the items that were burned would go to the community member that provided the items, but that process doesn't exist. So for now, this is more the value to the person supplying meta tokens is exposure in our marketplace, hundreds of eyes, if not thousands of people seeing it in the game and bringing users to their products and seeing them in the Star Atlas ecosystem. So the benefit to us is it's another resource burn, other than R4. So
it's good for token distribution if you're trying to distribute tokens to new audience or trying to do some marketing pushes. That's really the big use case for everybody. Yeah, and like we're not asking for payment to us or anything like that. It's just you'll give us the tokens. The way Honeyland worked, for reference, is just I think they told us that, hey, these tokens are going to be worth this much, and Chris came up with a recipe that we can totally work out. If you like, oh, I want this to cost 1,000 power sources or something like that, like that's even easier for us. So yeah, we'll figure all that out whenever you guys want to apply with it.
Yep. So yeah, guys, if anyone is working on cool stuff, feel free to reach out. Yeah, I will say it one more time. Any questions
Ketir had a question. Or I think that's how you say it.
Oh, Katir? Oh, yeah. I didn't see that one. What if someone scam us with his tool? I know it's our responsibility. Any chance to hear opinion about tools, security from Stratus team? For example, everybody uses SLY, but it's not official, so there is a big unknown. So we're not running any. I don't think we did run like any audits or can officially endorse any of those tools, especially if they require a wallet connect. So it's not something that we're doing right now. Maybe in the future it will be possible, but right now all our engineering resources are basically focused on just building the game.
Yeah,
I don't think we want blockchain engineers to be reviewing all that code, right?
Yeah, the security wise, it's use at your own risk. Basically, is the policy here. There is options for things like the DAO pushing a proposal forward to audit something or doing similar things like that would be totally valid uses for the DAO. But yeah, on the security side, of course, we don't want anybody like any scammers using our systems or anything like that. We don't want it, but it's also hard for us to control, and it's down to basically trust in a lot of these systems. So it is user at your own risk, or finding somebody that can audit it for you, where they can take a look at the code. Sly's a little easy. I know that you can look through it, and it's kind of like one or two files that are injected, and somebody with enough knowledge can look through that pretty quickly. So yeah, that's the best place to search for those kind of things.
Yeah.
Cool. That brings up a good point too. I had hoped to release an update to the cookbook that had an example of our new fleet rental code. And as I dug into that and got talking to some of the engineers about how to implement that, I realized like that code deals directly with your fleets, and if you make a mistake using it, you could, for example, add the wrong revoke key to a particular fleet, and then the fleet could never be revoked, sort of thing, essentially burning your ship. So I had hoped to have something available today for that, and I've decided not to publish that just yet because I want to look at that more carefully and just make sure that I'm not posting examples in the cookbook of things that could burn your assets. So, but I did want to talk a little bit about the fleet rental stuff, and maybe another time we can do that. But there is code there now in our which package is it in?
Sage.
The Sage package, right? So in Starless Sage, there's two new methods: one for assigning fleets to a rental, and one for revoking that. And the idea there is that community devs build out front ends that enable the exchange of funds or time locks, and then they call these methods to send fleets and receive fleets. And so there's a lot of potential there, and it's something I'm very excited about, and I think you guys could really dig into and make use of. But it's not quite ready for an in-depth discussion.
Yeah, the things in our program are very like raw hooks that are quite dangerous if you call them wrongly, because they're just like basically full of signs. So, but yeah, they are there to test out. Totally copying it onto a local net system or something and testing it out there work pretty well as well.
Something else pretty cool to test once it's more advanced.
Yeah, something else I wanted to gauge too. I don't know how we could do this on this call, but like, what are your guys' thoughts on accessing AtlasNet for testing, for example? Like, is that something that would interest community developers, like having access to AtlasNet and not having cost and risk associated with your own assets? Is that something you would like to leverage? Because we're having a lot of discussion internally about how we can open AtlasNet to everybody for testing patches as they're available, testing new features, but also for community devs to kind of mitigate risk there. So, yeah, if you guys want to like W in the chat, if you want open access to AtlasNet or something, I don't know, maybe we can post a survey somewhere.
Yeah, DT Donovan says that will be huge.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of gave a W.
Yeah.
Dominic Bain.
Dominic, good, thank you.
Dom
I'm
wants
sure he
Atlas.
will be testing.
And it would,
He will be testing all day.
And we can't let him on our internal stuff. That it's just a problem if Dom has access to that.
Yeah, and Donovan has a great point, which is that you can share code examples without transaction doxing, and like I could publish the fleet code, and I could just say do this on AtlasNet and hard code examples in there, and it would make me feel a lot better about publishing examples of things that could break your stuff. But that's how we're going to learn, right? We're going to learn when we are working on stuff together. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we can tell Dom he's touching the real econ levers. He's just touching the AtlasNet levers.
yeah.
Cool. I think that will be interesting for sure for the developers. But yeah, we'll give it 5 more seconds. If there are no questions, we can break here. Okay.
Sock,
I think
recommend.
we're good
Send
to close
me the
here.
proposal, VB. Send me the proposal.
I would like to see a sock NFT. Dom eating a sock NFT in the metacrafting.
Oh gosh.
That would be so good for the brand.
That's got to get through, Danny.
As long as it's a Star Atlas sock, it's okay.
The Atlas sock. Why not?
They can go on your
man.
crew's feet and keep them warm.
Here.
Utility.
Cool, guys. So yeah, I think we're good to close here. Planning on hosting another developer hour after all the official announcements from the hackathon are out. So stay tuned for that one. And yeah, you guys have a little bit of room now to start working on your projects. And again, like, doesn't matter if you're not like a super experienced developer, it's all good. Actually, the hackathon is specifically for that, to try your best and just try to build something cool and put your skills into action, the skills that you learn into action. So yeah, that's what we're looking for, and hopefully you guys can come up with some cool stuff. So Rising Sun is asking for the recording. I'm pretty sure Star Atlas TV has the recording already. I know they're live streaming right now on YouTube, so that's perfect. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you on the next developer hour.
Do the hackathon.
Yeah, join the hackathon. And yeah, thank you, Xcode and Brett. Much appreciated, guys, your time here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Cheers.
Yeah, see you soon. Bye-bye.